大家。
好的，
可以。
可以。
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to show some uh, great work from our own perspective, and hopefully everybody will like it. So we built a TP53 intelligence and onco genomics intelligence platform. And for today's talk, we're gonna walk everybody through in mainly 7 parts. First, we will start with the biology, what is TP53 actually is, and why a single mutation in this gene shows up in half of all human cancers. Then we'll talk about the problem it creates. The patients get these uh, dense and jargon-filled genetic reports and have no ideas what to do with them. And from there, we will explain our solution, an AI agent that reads those reports and turns them into something a real person can act on. We built it for two very different users. The patients who just want a plain language explanation and clinicians who need the full scientific details. Then we will show you how the system is wired together under the hood and then do a lab demo so you can see it in action. And we will close with a quick look at where this could go as a product. Okay. So first, let's talk about what is TP53 mutation. TP53, it does mainly three things. It acts as an alarm, detecting when DNA gets damaged. Then it hits the brake, pause the cell division, so there's time to make repairs. And if the damage is too bad to fix, it tells the cell itself to destruct rather than let the error spread. But when the TP53 gene itself is mutated, meaning there's a typo in the DNA code that makes the protein stop working, all three of these safeguards fail at once, then the alarm will go off and the damaged cells just keep growing, dividing, and the cancer cell will take control. That's why it shows up in roughly half of all human cancers, and it's the single most commonly mutated gene we have known so far. Here's an example of what a real genetic report looks like. So patients receive a document like this after their test. It's full of terms like pathogenetic variant, loss of heterozygous variant allele frequency. Even the mutation name itself is basically kind of confusing and make nonsense to most of the people. So what do patients do? They usually turn to Google. They land on research papers, Reddit threads, and patient forums, sources that are either too technical to understand or emotionally overwhelming. And even sometimes it's just inaccurate, which may lead to not very good results sometimes. So that's why we want to build this platform. And the next step my teammate Jocelyn will walk us through the full patient journey and where the process will patients at every step.
Sure. Are you okay to hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, sure. So hi everyone. So thank you for Ronan to talk about like what's the pinpoint from the patient's perspective. And now I kind of giving you a bigger picture in terms of in the clinical settings, kind of explaining the current pain points upon that. So let me walk you through what actually happens when a cancer patient in the United States get a TP53 mutation diagnosis. This isn't a theoretical flow. It is the life experience that of roughly 300,000 Americans every year. Step one is the symptoms and initial diagnosis. A patient notices something is wrong, persistent cough, unexplained weight loss, fatigue. They go to their primary care physician. The PCP orders a CT scan, sees a suspicious mass in the lung, and then refers them to an oncologist. A biopsy is taken, pathology confirms lung cancer. At this point, the patient doesn't know much beyond the word cancer. The oncologist orders genetic testing, which is called NGS reports, to understand what type of tumor they are dealing with. Step 2, genetic testing or NGS reports. The tumor sample gets shipped to a reference lab, company like what you heard, Foundation Medicine or Tempus, for next generation sequencing testing. This takes about 10 to 21 days. The patient is waiting. There's no treatment has yet started at this point. The clock is ticking. Here's the first pain point. Results come back as a 40 to 6 pages PDF, very much like the patient version of the reports that Ruanan shows earlier, but made longer and also more medical terminologies in depth. No standard format across the lab, no machine readable structure, just a very dense document that lands in the oncologist's inbox. Step 3 is the report interpretation. The oncologist now has to read that PDF reports and make a treatment decision, typically in a very short time period, about 15 to 20 minutes of consultation. For other mutation like EGFR or LAK, it's very straightforward. There is a clear FDA-approved targeted drug. But for TP53 mutation, it is different. TP53 has so far no FDA-approved targeted therapy. This is the hardest mutation to interpret, and it requires understanding things like what Ruanan just mentioned in the reports, such as it is a loss of function or gain of function variants. Does it have a dominant negative effect? What does the co-mutation landscape look like? So most of oncologists doesn't have that depth. I will give just a bigger picture. Like 70% of those oncologists practice in community setting, which is community hospital, not large academic centers. The MTB stands for molecular tumor boards, does exist to help, but it's only at the place like large hospital like MD Anderson or City of Hope. So by survey and also reports, 63% of oncologists in the nationwide says that they need assistance to interpreting the genomic reports. And even when an MTB, which is the molecular tumor boards, is available, only 20.8% of the patient actually receive the board's recommended therapy so far. 60. So that's kind of just the number to give you what's the current situation it is. Step 4 is the treatment decision. Based on their interpretation, the oncologist decide on the treatment plan, whether it's the chemotherapy or it's the immunotherapy or a combination of both. Two things get missed at this stage at almost every time. The first is the co-mutation effect. If the patient not only has the TP53 mutation, but also have other mutation like KRAS, or for example, this actually changed the drug sensitivity picture significantly, but there's no tool prompting the oncology to consider this. And then the second thing that missed here is the synthetic lethality. There are drugs that can exploit specifically vulnerability created by the TP53 mutation. These are rarely considered because the oncologist doesn't have time to review tons of the research paper, the latest research paper every time, every patient. Step 5, clinical trial matching. This is where the system fails most visibly. There are hundreds of clinical trials actively recruiting TP53 mutant patients right now. Many of them could meaningfully change the patient's prognosis. But how does the patient find out about them? In most of the cases, the answer is they don't, especially in the community hospitals. There is no systematic processes building upon it. If the oncologist happen to remember a trial, they might mention it. Otherwise, the patient never hears about it. The pharmaceutical company trying to recruit those trials facing the same problem. They spend millions of dollars. I think an average of 40,000 to 59,000 per patient just for the direct trial costs. For example, trying to find the eligible patient through the advertisement, the site networks, and the data companies. So the matching is actually broken on both sides. And 70% of the eligible patients never enroll in the United States, not because they don't want to, because nobody connect the dots between them. Step 6, which is the last step, is the progression and the retest. The TP53 mutant tumors, especially in lung cancer, tend to progress faster than the wild type tumors. When they do, the patients need to get the new liquid biopsy. The new reports need to generate again, and then the entire cycle from step 1 to 5 has to be begin again. So in summary, 6 steps, 4 major failure points. At the center of all of them is the same problem, a mutation that affects nearly half of all cancer patients with no intelligent decision support specific for them. And that's what we are building. Next step, next slide, please. All right, so the problem or the clinical challenges. We kind of talk about the first 2 problems during the patient journey walkthrough, so I wouldn't go deeper into that. The first one is the report without intelligence, right? We just talk about the current NGS report listing everything but provide zero clinical reasoning behind it. And then number 2 is the trial matching is manual. It's usually take 4 to 6 hours, and then also the matching between pharmaceutical and then the patient side is also missing the dots. Number 3 is very important too. I want to emphasize this as well, is that so far there's no product in the market deliver deep mutation specific TP53 intelligence. Generic LLMs hallucinate clinical data. The pan-cancer platform like Tempest AI are broad by design, but they are not built on deep on a single gene. And this is the white space we are occupying. Next slide, please. And this is just like solution. We are building a multi-agent solution today to provide a full clinical intelligence for TP53 mutation. We will provide a product demo to you shortly to kindly show you around and explain why and how our solution will solve the 3 problems above. Next slide, please. I know you are dying to see the architecture and then the product demo, so I wouldn't spend so much time on that, but I just want to emphasize that we do have 3 user segments we want to target it for. The first one is the patient and caregivers. We want to provide a plain language explanation to their mutation and some Q&A chatbots for their asking anything for their cancer journey. And then the second user is a doctor and then the oncologist association. They will get the mutation translated into a treatment decision in a short minutes through our platform with evidence-cited drug guidance. Last but not least, and this is the pharmaceutical company and biotech sponsor. This is a structure we are planned to build in the next phase due to the time limitation. We don't have a time now, but we will be adding to the next user phases in the next phases for the pharmaceutical company to be utilized. The top 20 pharmaceutical company all have their active TP53 pathway programs. They need all the TP53 stratified patient cohorts, clinical trial recruitment, and then also the real world evidence. We are building this infrastructure that will give them access to all of that in the future. Yeah, so that's the nutshell of the user segments. I will pass the key to Yu, so she will give us the understanding of the workflow.
Yeah, thank you, Jocelyn. As Jocelyn mentioned, we will have like a 2 user segment. So for we will, based on that, have 3 views. One is the patient view, and then clinic view, and then is the AI assistant view. I will mostly talk about the patient and the clinic view. So for I will talk with like each trial. So from the patient side, you can firstly like upload the PDF, your reports, and also like if or you can already know your mutation, you can type in and or just you want to learn something. So there is a choices for the patient, and then we'll remove the patient names and extract their like a report information and summarize them. And the next step is like using the report findings indexed into the ChromoDB as a real world evidence. So next step is like a normalized status accumulation. Oh, sorry. And then to using the chatbot to retrieval and aggregate the patient data as the answer. But all the information will be put in the knowledge accumulated system to as a database to store the data and to train as a loop. For the clinical views, there is that is more for the research and explore, and also is using as a review PubMed like evidence, and also the paper is the red side on like pink color on the right side, and then you can perform the IARC mutation lookup and the guidance the generation using the TP53 mutation classification and the variance database. So then the third step is like using the correct rag with hybrid cached and live PubMed retrieval. Then we will use the enrich the pipeline to index the PubMed abstracts and using PICO. PICO is a classic information retrieval framework in the medical research. So it used to search for and organize the medical literature with the greater like a precision. And then we have the 3 queries for this PICO that will be more accurate for the PubMed like information. And all that will go to the knowledge accumulation based system again to like iterate. And then I will highlight to talk about the like a rag retrieval in the next page, talking about this. Yeah. So for here, we have a multi-rags, multi-agent to run this part. Firstly, like we are using the router agent. In this part, it will like look up the IRAC database and build the tailored retrieval queries for each clinical questions. And then go to the next agent is the retrieve one. So in here, like it will search the ChromoDB first, and then fetch live like a PubMed in parallel with the 3 like a PICO queries. And then it will return the top of 15 like a re-ranked result. Then go to the next step is like a grade agent. For here, if it will grade the information above, and for a binary yes or no check. If it passed, it go to the next step. If it's failed, it will go back to the retrieve one and try 2 times maximum, and also store the grading history. So then the next step is the generate agent. Here it will synthesize like a clinical sections from the graded abstract and using a section specific the prompt. And also it required a PMID. PMID is a PubMed like identifier to make sure it's right. Then go to the hallucination agent. Here it verified every claim in the generated sections is grounded in the source abstract and logs any issues and pass that text through to avoid any blocking the pipelines. Then it go repeated the cycles. Yeah, because it have the three queries like a Pico did is like the we mentioned previously, and then for the next one is to generate the report assembling. Like after all this like complete, it will fetch matching clinical trials. Oh, it's another like a source data, clinical trials source data, then assemble the like a fingerprint clinical evidence and the trials into a cited markdown report. Yeah, and then Ronan will like show you the real like product.
All right. Let me quit this first. So everybody can see my screen, right? At this website. So here in our as all my team members mentioned that we have two type of users for the patient or family member or the clinicians or researchers. So if we click on the patient or family members, it depends on if you have done the genetic testing or not. If you have the genetic test, you can either upload your report, or you can just manually type in your mutation. If you say I don't have any genetic report, but I'm wondering if I have this mutation or not, you can just click on this and use our AI agent to help you make some decision. Uh, so if you click on here, you will see an interface like this. Based on the user demands, we set it to you can upload either PDF or images. As Jocelyn mentioned, the genetic testing report might be very long, so user can also upload multiple pages as well. Either way works. And to save us some time, I have already uploaded a sample report here, so you can see it will give you an detailed explanation in a plain language for the user to understand about their genetic testing result. So here, I will read all the general information. For example, this patient has a stage 3 colorectal cancer, and then we will also give the user some gut real about their about very general information. So we mainly separate into 4 parts. The first part is general information, what you have tested, and the second is the key findings. So in the genetic report, you are not just testing on one gene. So you actually may test on multiple genes, and this will give a very plain language explanation for each gene you have tested. And then the treatment implication basically give you an explanation and tell you what some information that might be useful for you. For example, many people are interested in the immunotherapy, and the reports give this tumor mutational burden is 12. So basically 10 is the cutoff, and this is only 12, meaning you just have a moderate a number of mutations. So you may not get that well benefits from immunotherapy, and also for this microsatellite instability, which it is stable, also means you may not likely to respond to 30 immunotherapies. And we also give some suggestions for the patients, what kind of questions they can ask their doctors. So this is a summary table here. And so definitely users will have a lot of questions. For example, here they mentioned the pathogenetic gain of function. If the user they don't understand it, they can just feel free to go to the site and ask the questions here. It will explain, very plain language, and also they can choose if it's good for you or not to give us some feedback. And also the user can choose to create their own account. So in the future, when they have like other testing results, they can all upload to here. Then we can build up a whole picture of the patient to get to give them some suggestions and give a comprehensive health management. And if we go back to home, go to the clinical or researcher page, you will see something like this. So when we see TP53, it's just a single mutation, but it's actually have hundreds of types of mutations. They have mutation on different locations. So this situation is very complicated. This is a map. So if the user, you can easily see these larger dots definitely have more higher frequency of mutation, and you can just click here. It will give a very quick view of this specific type of mutation. And also the researchers are very interested in where they can find this data. So I also created this page for the researchers to find where to download these data. It all summarized in a table. And then if they want to do some researchers on this mutation specifically related to some cancer type or some treatment, they can just select here and click to search and generate the report. Also for time for time being, I also have already prepared something here. So for example, this R27H, they have a report, and also we have a guardrail here to mention that we have this evidence, but something you may consider it may not that accurate because it's not mentioned in the abstract. And also for this one, there's no specific clinical trial match, just some general information. I also take an example here. You can see this one has a clinical trial here. User can just click on and check all the information that they might be interested in. Similarly, for this PubMed, they all have been checked by our logic. So to guarantee everything is correct. Uh,
Hey. Yeah, so I know we're running out of time. I don't know if we should continue or how that will look like in terms of time constraint.
Can you quickly go through the
Okay.
remaining
Okay.
material?
All right. So, okay, I will spend like just 5 minutes, quickly go through the business model and market size. Okay. So, business model is straightforward. We're gonna free for users, for patient and doctors, and then we will generate the data flywheel, and then finally, ultimately, we will want to sell to the pharmaceutical company. So, patient doctor use the platform for free. As always, every uploaded NGS report becomes a de-identified data points into our TP50 corpus, of course, by agreement by the patients and doctor to use it, right? And then more users means more data means a smarter agent, a smarter agent attract more users. And this is the flywheel comes in. And our target is to receive 10,000 uploaded reports per year. And at that scale, we began building something that no competitor can replicate, a curated TP53 mutation outcome database contributed organic by the clinical community. And then once that reaches to a critical mass, the pharmaceutical company pays for those data for the drug development and also for the clinical trial recruitment services. So ultimately, we want to have that strategic acquisition by a pharmaceutical company or diagnostic leaders who needs these assets. So they will pay. The pricing is to still is TBD. We will negotiate based on the benchmark. So next step, please. Next slide. Market size, again, I wouldn't deep dive into that. Just give you a overview of what's the market size? The Benchmark, this is the largest consulting company, says that the AI pharmaceutical company is 100 billion plus annual market size. I think the report is around released in April 2026. So the AI drug discovery segment alone is reached 49.5 billion, and then for our TP53 is it's 50% of all human cancers, so it's making it by far the largest single genomic target in this space. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is the last slide. So this is the competitive differentiation. So you might ask, why not use just a GPT-4o or Tempest AI or any deep analysis tool already on the market? So we kindly combine this comparison matrix to kindly doing the comparison. Generic LLM hallucinate on TP53, the pan cancer platform like Tempest AI or Foundation are Foundation Medicine are powerful, but they build for oncologists with paid contracts. They cover broad genomics, not TP53 specific reasoning. And we kind of doing some public search and also through their website claim, we did not find they mentioned they have a corrective reg loop building upon it. Deep analysis tools are free but shallow, no real-time trial matching, no PMID cited evidence, no data flywheel. We building this TP53 intelligence platform. I think we think we are the only product that check every box. I wouldn't go deeper into each of them, but emphasizes that we're not trying to be everything for everyone. We just want to go in deep on one mutation that drives 50% of all human cancers and building the moat one report at a time. And I think that's the last page. That's all. Thank you. Any questions?
Any question from the audience?
Yeah, I hope the audience can raise up some question or probably some comments. No?
I have a question. 我有一个问题。Hello，能听到吗？
Yeah.
I'm very curious. Is the TP53 like the most important one for us to know the cancer, or does it know all the cancer? It's like, and how can we get all those reports? Like when you that you just mentioned we should upload.
You mean the genetic testing report?
Yeah. I'm just very confused, a little bit confused. It's like I should get a report first to use your product. Is that correct?
Actually not. So if we go to the home page, you can see for the patient there is a button. I just want to learn about TP53. So you can basically I need to make it a little bit different, but for now it's just all the same. So you can just feel free to ask questions. It will give you some general information or any specific question you want to refer some materials, it can answer your questions.
Okay. But for the test report, like how can I get it? Is it something from the hospital first and then go into your product, or like is that what is that? I'm just confused.
Yeah. You need to go to I think so it all depends. For example, there are 23andMe, right? Those publicly available genetic tests. If you don't have any syndrome or any concern, you can just go to those companies to do it because it's way more cheaper, and you can do some tests and find you have, for example, this TP53 mutation. Then you definitely need to be more careful about your own health. But if you already have some symptoms, it's better go to the hospital, see the doctor, and they will let you do some genetic testing, and that's where you get that genetic report like what I just showed.
I see. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. I just want to mention that we got this idea actually from Xiaohongshu. I saw a doctor mention that there's a clinical trial about one of the uh, those hundreds of TP53 mutation, and there are a lot of patients. They just posted their own or their families genetic testing report there and ask if they can enroll in this clinical trial. So we see there's a need there.
It's very good. It's really benefit people.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think Ying asked this question, right? So from my takeover, okay, I just have probably two suggestions here. One is in the website, right? You say like who are you, right? This website, like a patient or family member. Probably we can add like a notes there, like so basically you are saying it's like patient upload their diagnosis, something like that, right? Or
Mm.
so here the word patient probably it's a little bit like confused, right? So it's like whether it's like I already done something myself or I need to have some kind of report, then I can use your product. Here it's not very clear.
Hmm. Got it. Got it.
Yeah, it's just a very
Thank you. Yeah.
small, that's a very small comment here. And also I remember if you go to your my second comment, it's about the opportunity. You have this like market opportunity page, right? So I think but again, that really depends on who is your audience, right? Who is your potential investor on this product, right? So if you are really talking about somebody like probably outside of this like a pharmaceutical industry, you can like probably add some background like in right now, okay, more and more people are more like uh they they take care of themselves, right? So the health is like more of their priority, right? So potentially there are still like a huge number of people even don't know those kind of tests, right? So they after we provide them those kind of AI tool, right? So they probably will be more likely to go to run some tests like that, right? So you will collect more data.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right, that's kind of like your scope, even your opportunity is even larger than we originally thought, right? So right now, I think your presentation is based on okay, the doctor already like assigned some like people to do some tests like that, right? So, but maybe there are lots of people they were not aware of them at all, right? So, but when we when we have AI, right? So when more and more people really get more want to get a better life, want to live longer, they themselves learn those kind of things more often, right? So they will be likely use your product as well.
Mhm. Yeah, that's really great. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So that can extend like especially if your investor has some for example, there is a large investor, they can either invest on pharmaceutical or they can invest on some finance product, right? So you can tell some story like about pharmaceuticals that have a broader future, right? So yeah, I just based on Ying's question, okay, I saw those kind of two comments here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think his comment is very helpful. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, let's take the remaining questions to the end. Yeah, thank you. It's great.
Thank you.
I really like it because I see that it help people and there is a intensive demands there. I even think that even if you charge like $5 for one diagnosis for one research, patient would be very happy to pay for that because they want to know very details about all these genetic report.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. I can ask more questions after other talks.
Great. Thank you.